Hello, everybody. It's showtime. Welcome to the GQUAT family reunion buzz. Rachel Unbiased LLC was the first one on the buzz. Then Tracy, Passionately Intrigued Arts, Sissy Joanne Stevens, Sissy Maria Graham. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we can do whatever you guys want to do tonight. We are going to make a hobo bag as big or as little as you want, except there will be one variation. I was going to do one in denim, patched together, put together, and I'm still going to do it. Hey, Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Thank you for coming. And I will do it, but tonight we're going to make one with a double sided fabric. I asked you guys what you would like to see me do, and that's what you said. I'm looking down because I have my phone and I'm trying to see if I can see myself live so that I can see the chat, see what's going on here. I don't know. It gives me such a hard time. Watch. Let's go to live. So, how is everybody doing? How is the weather? I can see myself. 6 people are watching, and I have 10 thumbs up. How does that work? Oh, well, it's better than being the other way. Oh, because I didn't see Cheryl Faulkner, Happy Mac, sifting some soil and moil. Thank you for coming, everybody. Because good friends become family, and family is everything. If you are here on the replay, I invite you to leave a comment. I love reading the comments. They are so thoughtful and from the heart. Teresa Bailey says it's damp and foggy in Maine. I'm here in soggy, foggy Connecticut. And happy fall, everybody. And it's acting like it. It's actually chilly. Miss Shirley, sister friend, guess what? You didn't email me. I got your money. Mike gave you his $5, but I don't have your Cash App so that I can send it to you. I will send it to you exactly after the show, but that's why I wanted you to email me. But I know you had to go live. Boy, life goes so fast in these here YouTube streets. Of course, you see my homemade handy dandy apron starting up. Mike's got a storm starting, might get knocked offline. 80 in South Carolina today. That must be nice. My bones are hurting. My bones are hurting. And I guess that's part of life, old age. And I'm getting that neuropathy thing, with the pain in your legs. And honestly, and I have glaucoma. I know Miss Shirley said the light bothers her eyes, but I've learned how to put overall lighting in the area that I'm working. It's bright, but that seems to work for me. So, yeah, girl Lala, thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody. So, I will get started because tonight, um, the chat. The chat will not be going on. So we will be chatting and sewing, and I will show you how to make a bag live. 93 degrees in Arizona. What? And cloudy. I'm coming, Arizona. Auntie's coming. So I want to show you a couple of bags that I have made. Barb Brownlee says she's dehydrating herbs, making spices, and working on reorganizing her pantry all day. Sunny and cool, 72 degrees. I didn't organize. Yes, I did, because I wanted to get ready for bag season. This time of year, everybody needs a shawl, a little something to keep warm. And I'm actually starting on my Christmas gifts. And let's see. I was going to make one bag, but then I had a subscriber call me and say, Auntie Ellen, how about making a bag that's simple to make? A lot of you can make your own merchandise, a lot of you sew. So I'm going to make a modified hobo bag. The hobo bag that I typically make has the four big pockets inside and the big well in the middle. Well, today we'll make one, and there will be a big pocket on the outside, and it will be something that will be easy to make, and it will still carry just as much stuff. Hola, Bouger Prepper. My daughter, it's great. David Corey with crop, I'm great. How's your day? I was watching you and your chickens, but I wanted to tell you the overall dimensions of the something's funny. I don't know. I guess I can still see myself over on the other thing, but the duffel bag that I make and the hobo bag, the duffel bag I make for the guys and myself. I like having my own things. I have a whole set of things made out of this fabric because I loved it at the time. And I was checking into the Hilton in Charlotte, North Carolina. Auntie Joanne was there, and the guy that does your luggage and everything, the bellhop, he said, "Oh, you have very Bradley luggage, very nice." I said, "No, no, no, baby boy. Guess what? This is Penny Panky luggage, and I made it myself." Well, first I'll show you just, why is this hard to get out? Just a minute. I'll show you a tote made in this fabric. If I can get it off the back of the chair, we're having a chair fight. This is an interesting bag. And the one I'm actually going to sew tonight will be this size. This bag is called a bag with plenty pockets because it has the two pockets that you see in the front. It has ornamental buttons. These pockets open up like, I'm going to show you the bag, not my face. Like in this side pocket, it's pretty deep. You can put stuff. You've also got this big pocket. There's a pocket in the back, like if you were traveling and you just wanted to take your cell phone. There's a tie on it. I like putting ties. I think I told you on bags. This is a special made tag because you can put more stuff in it. If I actually have a snap in it, but the snap stops here. If you have a tie, you can open it all the way and just barely put a little loop in the top of it. And that's how much you can put 6 more inches of stuff in here. This bag has two pretty good sized pockets on this side, on the inside. See these? So it is organized, easy to make. Hello, Casings 55. Thank you for coming and welcome. And it additionally has padding in the bottom. So, and it has the square bottom that I'll show you how to make easily. Whoops. Okay. Now, what I use in the bottom of my bags, and I don't know anybody else that does this. Hi, Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick. This is a piece of needlepoint plastic. This piece is extra large. I got this one at Michael's. You can get a smaller one that's about 11 and a half by 12, but it has a different kind of plastic mesh, and you put batting over it, and that's what I put in the bottom of my bags. Rachel Bias wanted to see what it is. I buy the bigger ones because they're heavier. The small ones are cheaper and you can double them up. But I like this one because if I make a bag that's 24 inches across, that's what this is, and this fits perfectly in the bottom of it. So this is what you call needlepoint plastic. I'll put it over here because I will be cutting it up to use it in the bag we're making tonight. And one thing I want to talk to you guys before I show you this, because we use it a lot in our arts and crafts, and that is freezer paper. This freezer paper I bought like for the studio, and this is a lot. It's 150 feet. I have a piece cut off, and we also use parchment paper, nonstick. But what I wanted to show you is the difference between using parchment paper in arts and crafts and the difference in using freezer paper. Okay. Now, I use freezer paper when I'm making labels, when I'm painting. I iron it onto the back of unbleached muslin, and that's how I make my labels and things. Hello to anybody in the bushes or anybody that I didn't see. And when you're ironing, those of you who are doing sublimation, you already know this. You put a piece of parchment paper down on your ironing board. If you're making pieces inside, like the labels, once I add the freezer paper on the back, I put it inside here and I iron on top of here. I never let the crafts that I'm working on touch my iron because it'll get sticky and get messed up. On the other hand, I use freezer paper, and this is what I want to show you the difference up close. The freezer paper, I want the camera to catch it, has something on it, a film that's like wax. And when you put it in the oh, don't even look at my nails. I have to hide my hands. No, my feet don't look like that. My feet don't get in the garden all chewed up. So you see how shiny this is? When you iron it onto a piece of fabric, it actually sticks. It actually sticks. So you want it to stick when you're painting, you're using markers. Bayou Sugar, thank you for coming and welcome. So that's when you use this. You can put this on the back of anything and paint on it or make it waterproof. You can turn anything into your own art. It's almost like a canvas. Like this, you're painting on this. You can paint flat on any piece of fabric. I don't know what you guys are laughing at. Being bad already. So here's the parchment. You see this? It won't stick when you're cooking. It won't stick to the ironing board, but it doesn't hold the moisture when you're trying to paint something. Okay, so moving right along, I just wanted to show you this. And I pre-cut this. You see what big containers I buy. So I know that my labels are about 5.5 inches. And I can also use this on the back of postcards to paint and make my own things. So I hate doing things one by one by one. So I get a bunch of them pre-cut, put them in a baggie, and have them on the side. Why am I telling you this? If you don't have a label that's pre-purchased and you want to make your own for your bags or whatnot, you can just make your own. So we'll put that aside and we'll go back to making bags, because the HOBO bag, and this is what I want to show you. Uncle Roscoe has one of this. You see how huge this is? I put a pocket on the back of it with my name on it. These these I will have a private class probably on Zoom. I will charge for it because it's a lot of work, and this will probably be about a 4-hour class. And I didn't sell this one because I have my name on it. But what I wanted to show you is I make my own I make my own handles. This one is just a double quilted fabric, and I'll teach you. You like the top I'm wearing today? Thank you. And thank my daughter. She dresses me. Sign you up for the class, Rachel? I will. And Rachel, you can get started. I know you wanted to sew along with me tonight. Tonight, you guys, if you have your fabric that we talked about on Thursday, those of you who were here, we can get started. Rachel, if you have your double quilted fabric, while we're talking, you can cut it, let's see, 24 inches wide by the length of the fabric and cut the salvage edges off while I'm talking to everybody else. But I want you to see that your bag, if you cut it like that, Rachel, will hold just as much as this. This is a special duffel bag. I want you to see this. It also has end pockets. I'm going to put this down on my lap. It has end pockets. And you see what I did? I reversed the fabric, this goldy fabric, on the outside. I put a little gold piece of matching fabric. And this is just a little decorative stitch that I did on my that little brother machine. That's what I use it for. But you see what I did? When you have double-sided fabric, you can make the pocket out of something else. So that's what I did here. And a little detail, when you put a zipper, whether it's on a cosmetic bag, wherever you're making, I make these little tabs. These little tabs I make out of fabric. You see the two sides, no padding, and you hold on to it when you're zipping. This one, if you want to pre-buy stuff to make a duffel bag, this is a 24-inch jacket zipper that you can get at Wally World. And I liked it because it came in this like brass color. It's solid brass and it kind of matches the gold in the bag. This one, I wanted to make it fancy. I had some leather from a leather coat or something that was long, and it's even pieced, you see. And on the inside of the handle, I put leather. And when you're carrying it, when you got 30, 40, 50 pounds of stuff in here, you preppers, this is what you hold on to. And it's really, really thick. I know that some of you told me that you live in hot areas. Leather is not conducive to where you live. So I bought this and I wanted to show you. I got this on Amazon. No, I'm not an Amazon affiliate. I don't get paid for anything. The only way I get any money for the channel or to buy things is that if you guys make a donation, a Cash App, or uh, I don't know. I haven't got paid by YouTube since I have been on the channel. But I also wanted to show you that this Naga hide, I think I got this whole thing for, I want to say $10. I thought I had a banner, but I guess I erased it at some point. But I'll go back to the comments. This Naga hide is actually kind of thin, like leather. It's not big and chunky. Let's see. I haven't opened it. Let's see. Let's see what the label says. The label looks like this. You can buy it from anywhere, any vendor on Amazon, and you can use it for a lot of different things. I'll show you what I like. I actually used real leather because I tried to make the upper end things. And if you're making it to sell, guess what? When you use real leather, you get real bucks. You up it because you're using products. So think of it, maybe if not in terms of yourself, think about the things that you can buy and sell. This one is black. You know how I make the journals? And I make my journal pockets in leather. Most people don't even care. You can use the pleather for the pockets and the bookmark. And guess what? You sell those for $45 instead of $35 or more. People are willing to pay up to $65. I was telling Rachel that Unbiased LLC that when I make my quilts and I make matching pillowcases, I charge $65 for the pillowcases. $65 for pillowcases? Yes. These pillowcases will last you the rest of your life. Those of you who have embroidery machines will surely get it because on the end you could put their initials on it. The name of the material is just called faux, FAUX leather. Faux leather. I don't I don't even know what vendor I got this. I just clicked on it. And it comes in purple. I know you like that, Rachel. Red, black. I don't know if that's orange or a different color. Red, blue. Looks like it has chrome, but just go on Amazon and they have a lot of different colors. I happen to have all these colors in leather. Why? Because my sister Joanne Stevens gifted them to me, and she knows that I put them in things and the gifts for the family. But again, those of you who just came in, I use leather to put on the inside of the handle because this is my personal bag. And guess what? When it's loaded and I'm going through the airport, I put this in. Sometimes I put Mr. Hershey in here when I'm traveling, sometimes on the train. And so this duffel bag, all the stuff that this duffel bag has, the HOBO bag has the exact amount of fabric. It looks a little feminine, and you're not giving a signal, hey, everybody, I'm out of here. I might be hoboing somewhere, and people don't know your business. So you can stay more than an hour. You can stay several days with your hobo bag. And you see how big this strap is? Men, women, anybody can easily put it over their shoulder. If you're making the hobo bag, you can make it half the size because for women, the hobo bag is so big, it's like 20 inches down your leg and it's heavy. For me to have this much handle on a hobo bag is difficult. Everybody's laughing at the hoboing. Hello, Darthex. Thank you for coming. So, without further ado, we are going to go over and start making a hobo bag. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, wait. I forgot. David Corey. Holy cow, stop spamming. David Corey, you put one too many smiley faces. Hello, Can't Stop. Thank you for coming. Nightbot, you can put all the caps you want, but you can only put 3. Passionately intrigued arts. It's pause. Let me see if something's going on in the chat. Pause. Oh, about what I said. I get it. But guess what? Before we start sewing, we have a special guest who wanted to come up. Sometimes when we can go live, like at night when Felicia and Mona are up, I'm like, I'm not taking off my bonnet. I'm not combing my hair. Tracy says she's cracking up. I'm not combing my hair. Deidre, the analytic gardener, thank you for coming. I just can't come up. So I'll come up another time. And I think that's what she wanted to do. Maria Graham, are you ready to come up? or Rachel, did you want to sew live today? I can drop the link for you to sew. Anybody who wants to do a sew along or do a craft with me, pause as a joke. I get it. I get it, Rachel. I thought I missed something. So, does anybody want to do a craft or work on something with me? I can drop the link. But first of all, I don't know where she is. Maria Graham, if you come into the back room, I can let you in. Maria Graham, are you there? Are you coming up? Okay, one, two, three, four. Hola, Tina, my sister, the New Orleans gardener. Joanne Stevens says, drop that link. Okay, so anybody who wants to say hello, okay, just a minute. Okay, copy. Anybody who wants to say hello and come up, I will drop the link in the chat. And I see Maria Graham is ready. So I will let her in. She's smiling that beautiful smile. Hey, Maria.
Hi, Auntie Ellen. Hi, everyone in the chat. It's good to be
Hi.
here.
Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I just wanted to come in tonight to tell you what a wonderful job you were doing, and it's a pleasure and honor to congratulate you on your 1,300 subscribers.
Thank you. Thank you.
You
We work
also you
we work
also
hard.
are you also are a pillar of the community of sewing, quilting, and the garden community. We all love you and appreciate all that you have done for us.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure. And like I said, good friends become family, and family is everything. I was talking to my sister Joanne Stevens, who's my biological sister, and I was talking about the people who come every week who support the channel. And she
Yes,
said, Sissy, they are your family. And I really
yes,
feel like that about you guys.
yes.
And
Thank
I
you.
that you're welcome. I treat you with the same respect that I treat my biological family. Fat body, not so fit. Thank you for coming. What are you doing over there? Sit ups or barbells or something? He's doing something. So I appreciate you. Marie Graham, do you have anything that you've worked on that we've made here in the chat?
Well, I've been this past week working on my postcards. You got me hooked. I
Hooked.
started about a month ago. I think I have about 25 postcards I made.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I'm going to use them for Christmas presents to send them out to all my friends.
And that's a good idea, you guys, to start now to make your custom Christmas cards. And
Yes,
these are collectible pieces of art, functional art that you
yes,
send in the mail, and everybody loves them. Everybody
yes.
loves them. Do you have one available that you can show? I don't have any right here in this immediate area, but when I go over to the work area, I can show everybody.
Hold on 1 minute and I'll get one.
Okay. You
I'll,
walk faster than me, girlfriend.
okay.
So, you guys, oh, I know what else I wanted to show you while she's doing that. For handles, how you know, see how I made the custom handles? You don't have to do that when you make your bag. You want to make a quickie bag, you want to have a quickie. The New Orleans gardener says she sees us all. Her hands are in the dirt. Look at mine, T-Nog. I'm a witness. I've been digging in the dirt with my hands for the last 2 days. I tried to straighten up my act yesterday, but today ain't nobody have time for that. So you guys, this is what you can buy for handles. And I think Joann's is having a sale today and you can buy it. This is 1 inch, but if you're going to put it on something like a duffel bag or something like that, I suggest 1.5 inches, and you buy it pre-made. Now we are having quickies. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm
We gotta
back.
do something with the hobo bags. Okay, Maria, would you like to? Maria's grandma's going to show us some of her. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is
This is
beautiful.
one.
Hold it up just a little bit higher so you can see why my arms get so tired. So above your name so we can see the colors. Oh, that's beautiful.
Here's
I
another
like the
one.
crayons. Wow, those are colorful. And you're not going to buy those at the rest stop when you go places. No, it's not. No, it's not, Felicia. This hoboing is a bit of work. Wow. I see you zigzagged around the edge
Yes.
of some of them. Oh, that's really pretty. Nice. Very nice. Teresa Bailey says she loves them, all the colors.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a lot of fun making them.
You're like Joanne Stevens. She's ahead of me on the paper beads. Oh my goodness, she has a ton of them. Okay, is that all you wanted to show us?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys, you see the back of the postcard and you already know how to make them. I have the video out. We did them live. We did a couple videos on them live. So, thank you so much, Maria. Oh my gosh, I'm going to faint. We have, I'm going to add it. You guys,
Oh,
may,
hi, Joanne.
may
Hi,
I
Maria.
may
Great to
I
see you.
may
Hi,
I introduce
everybody.
may I introduce my little sister and her dog? Shut her
How
up.
are you? How's everybody?
Hi, Sissy.
Good
Thank
to
you for
see you
coming and
too.
welcome.
Oh,
Angel, you stop that
say
noise,
hi,
you little
Angel.
brat.
Say
Hi,
hi.
Sissy.
Say hello.
So everybody gets to see
Hi.
my beautiful sister Joanne.
How's everybody doing?
Good. Great.
Good. I told you, Sissy, I was going to figure it out.
You did that. You did that, Sissy. So what room are you in? Are you in your studio?
I'm in my studio.
Oh, nice. Do you have
I
anything?
did that.
Auntie Ella,
Yes,
Auntie Ella,
Maria?
I'm going to drop back down so I can go back in the chat and talk with the
What's up,
people.
baby? Bye,
Okay.
Maria.
Thank
Love
you.
you.
I love you too.
Thank you. Love you, sis.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Sissy. What can we see? Can we see some of your art real quick? Anything? Some of, that whole room is her art, you guys.
Let's see. Well, let's see.
She gave me. She's walking through her house. That floor is 24
This
feet.
is some of my paper.
She makes homemade paper, handmade paper. And Cheryl Faulkner said Angel is pretty. Oh, by the way, Angel is Mr. Hershey's daughter.
That's one of my glass pieces. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that's a beautiful glass vase, Sissy. Auntie Joanne is a glass artist, and that's one of her vases. Sissy, can we see your bentwood bench? The bench that I love to sit on. Wait, Sissy, back up, Sissy. Okay, can you show the bench, you guys? This is made out of a hollowed log. Isn't that great? That's beautiful, Sissy. That's in her entry hallway. And Cheryl Faulkner says she loves that vase. Hey, Lorraine.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're having a family reunion tonight, you guys. And yes, we're still gonna sew.
I'll tell you.
This is some of her glass work, you guys.
Oh, wow.
Where's brother Ahmad? You know he's my favorite.
Brother Ahmad. Baby, I don't. I do. Right. Right. Maybe I don't, you know what?
Well,
I
just
don't
sit down.
know. But what I wanted to show them, since you were talking about your bags, I'm going to take you into my closet.
Oh, Lord. You guys, her closet is bigger than my living room and dining area. This is funny. What is that? Oh, that's one of her bags that I gave her that I made. It's just a special design bag. Hey, Auntie Bev, thank you for coming and welcome. Sifting some soil, thank you. Oh, Sissy, I forgot about the bag with the chickens on it. And those are pure red, the little tabs on it
I've
are
got
red leather.
let me see if I can get.
And you guys, you see how long your locks are? They're not
HOBO
stubby
bag
like
out.
my new ones. Pardon? Uh-oh, Sissy showing her body by her body is fit. Oh, that's Roscoe's duffel bag that I made you guys. And it's a different kind of chicken, and it has his name embroidered on it. Hey, Jags, J3GS. We're having a family reunion. Auntie Joanne has us in her closet. These are some of the gifts that I've given to the family over the years. I don't spend money. They don't want me to buy them anything. They want me to make stuff. Okay, what are you doing now, Sissy?
Oh, well, one more thing. I want you guys to see what an amazing painter she is.
Oh, that's a painting I did, you guys, of Auntie Joanne when she was younger. I painted that, and it's oil. It took 6 months to dry. When I did an oil painting of my mother, I put pearls on mommy because mommy likes pearls, but I didn't define my mother's teeth individually. Felicia said she could live in your closet. That's not even half of the closet, Felicia. And you guys have not seen me paint or painting, but I really can. I'm an artist, you know. And guess
Well,
what? I didn't start
come on, Angel.
until I was 55, 60 when I retired. Where are you going now, Sissy?
I'm going outside.
Oh, she's going outside. That's the outside where I'll be hanging in a minute, you guys, in Arizona. Oh, the sky is beautiful. Remember when we saw the double rainbow out there?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you show us your lemon and orange trees?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Is the orchid tree in bloom?
Oh, yeah. We're going in that direction. We might get another one.
Oh, you guys, I have stuff trashed all over her yard.
Yeah.
Where's my wagon? On the other side? We went to a yard sale, and I saw this wagon, and she's over on the other side.
Well, your wagon is on the other side.
She's climbing over 3 air conditioners that are on that side of the house. Stop making ugly faces, Sissy.
Well, let's see. If you can see the oranges on here, they're starting to get a little bit.
Wow, it's windy. Look at it blowing your hair around.
The wind was blowing my hair around. You see that?
I can't see the oranges. I just see 2 air conditioners.
Well, there's one.
Hold it in your hand and turn around backwards, your computer. Mona does that. I can't do that. Darthek said hit that closet is bigger than their picture.
Hold it in my hand. I can't.
That's okay, baby. Don't go back there. It's a jungle over there.
Well, Sissy, I don't know if you can see these down. No, you can't see them.
The low oranges, but that's the orange. Yes, I have down the kind of oranges they are. They're the big oranges that are mixed like with grapefruit.
Well, baby,
really big. And the lemon tree, look at it up there. It's 2 stories high. The house is 2 stories. Well, Sissy, don't worry. Thank you, and thank you for coming live so we can see.
All right, baby. Now that I know how to get on, I'll be back.
Oh, you know how to. I think we had a connection issue because
Thank you, guys.
You weren't on Stuart. She said, see you. Are you signing off? That's the jacuzzi over there in back of her. Okay.
Thank you.
Are you leaving?
See you.
All right, baby. Love you. See you.
Yeah.
See you in the chat. Thank you for the visit.
All right. You're welcome, baby. I love you guys.
And those palm trees back there, you guys were like
Hey.
12 inches high when they built that house.
All right, baby.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Love
Let
you.
me see if I can get off.
Tell Roscoe I said hi. Let me see. I can take, oops, I didn't mean to zap her that quick. Oh, I didn't. Yes, I did. Well, she'll figure out how to sign down, but she's not on. Can you? Okay. I says kick from the studio. I don't want to kick you. Oh, she's gone. All right, you guys. So that is my sister Joanne, who's in the chat all the time. So let's go over and sew. Rachel, is your machine threaded? Barb Brownlee said, thanks for the tour. Okay, you guys, thank you. The tour is actually much bigger, but that's enough. We are going to, and happy first day of fall, everybody. So I'm turning slowly. And yes, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment now, a handicapped apartment, and this is my empire. You see my art all up there? I have everything I need. And I can't even manage all that. Okay, so now a couple of things I want to show you when you're going to sew. And for those of you who want to do a craft, an art, something for Christmas maybe, something for Halloween, something for Thanksgiving, I want to show you something. And this is a door wreath. I bought the metal frame from Dollar Tree when it was $1. And then some of the scraps that I didn't want to throw away, some of them are African fabric strips, Christmas fabric, strange fabric, ugly fabric, and I just tied it. Some of the people in my arts and craft class that day helped me tie it, and I put it on the door. And Rachel Tracy said she hopes you're feeling better than yesterday. Auntie Bev is cooking and watching. Auntie Joanne says, thanks for having her. Nice meeting you all. So now you see what her face looks like since she doesn't have a channel. Somebody said you have a great home. That's why I go out there, you guys, and have a staycation and hang out for a month and then come back. What were you thinking? Stop scamming, warming. What are they talking about? I only see two little symbols on Barb Brownlee. Calm down, Nightbot. So you guys who want to make something, who don't sew, Mike's Chaotic Gardening, you mean to tell me you can't get some Hanukkah fabric, some like Christmas Hanukkah, some, what do you call it? All the other holidays, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You saw that when you came to visit. Thank you, Lorraine T. The wreath is lovely. It's prettier in person. Yeah, the camera doesn't do justice. Plus, I'm not holding it well. And for $1, you can make Easter fabric. You can put anything on it. Lorraine says, you're gorgeous, sissy. She is pretty. My little sister. She's not little. She's taller than me. My sister is like 4 or 5 inches taller than me, actually. I'm the runt of the litter in my whole family. So this is what you can get, and sew the scraps and make something, those of you who do not sew. So now that we're going to sew, before you sit down, you want to get all of your stuff ready. Okay, let me see. Rachel, did you want to come up? I can drop the link if you want to sew along. Did you want me to drop the link for you, Rachel, so that you can work on your bag? Okay. Well, I know, you know what? I take it back. I know Rachel wasn't feeling well, so I will put my phone over here and I will get to work. Now, Rachel is going to make a hobo bag, and I'm going to make a modified hobo bag. She will sew behind the scene. I thought about that afterwards, and I apologize because I forgot that you weren't feeling well. So, to start off, for those of you who don't sew, you want to get all your stuff together. You want to make sure you have some bobbins wound, a tape measure when you're making something big and round. Why? Because it's difficult to have to keep getting up. If you're doing a live, you really don't want to. You want to stay there because you want people to be able to see what you're doing. And for this hobo bag, what I'm going to do, Rachel, to make it easier, you cut your fabric. I don't know. I'm excited to see which fabric you chose. This, you guys, is double-sided fabric, and I'm going to use the back of the fabric that I already have all those gold bags from. Why? Because when I make bags, I don't make one at a time. I don't buy fabric one at a time. I mean, for one bag at a time. I make at least two or three, or buy the fabric and have it ready, because like days like today, when Rachel called me and said, Auntie, what can I do? Instead of making the one with all the patched up jeans, which I'm still going to do. So Rachel's going to cut her fabric 24 inches wide by the width of the fabric, which will be, I've already measured this. This fabric is about 40 inches. Okay. And I'm going to move this blue jean fabric, because another thing you want to keep by your sewing machine is a pair of Dollar Tree glasses. Why? Because your good glasses are going to be somewhere else, and something's going to pop up, whether you're live or not, especially if you're live. And then you're stuck and you can't read the chat or anything else. If you're giving a class, your students might forget their glasses. And if you're worried about catching anything, the flu or whatever's going around, just take a piece of alcohol, an alcohol swab, and wipe it off afterwards. I keep a stack of them. So Rachel, who's making the bag, you're going to cut your outside dimensions 24 inches by 42. 24 inches is exactly the same width as that big duffel bag that Uncle Roscoe has. That big duffel bag that I showed you, those of you who were here in the beginning. Those of you who are just coming in, you can go and look at it. So to cut the pocket, Rachel, if you want to make an easy hobo bag, I'm going to make a 12-inch. Just because I had a pocket already pre-cut, I'm going to make a 12-inch pocket. And I want to ask you guys a question, but I'll first give Rachel the cutting instructions. And for the handles, Rachel, instead of cutting 5-inch strips and sewing them, putting leather, doing all that, she's going to do a quickie version. And her quick version will be webbing. You can put the webbing on just as easily. So the other thing you will need is a large needle for outside. I'm sorry, not a large needle, a large button. So just so that you guys can see what I'm doing, you don't have to see my face. Joanne Stevens says, Rachel, she hopes you're feeling better. Are you writing this down, Queen? Which Queen? Tracy or somebody? You can write it down. I have these in my head. They're memorized, Rachel, if you're talking about me. And this is just a little 6-inch ruler I leave by the computer. I actually have it in my little red bag that goes anywhere. But I'll show you what I really, really use. I'll get up and get it. My legs might be showing when I get it, but I'm going to get it. This is in my handy dandy. You guys can't see it. I don't think you can see it. My ruler case, I don't have them on the wall. I went to wood shop and I took a router and I dug out lanes to hold my ruler. This is a handy ruler for those of you who sew. This is what's called a 6.5-inch square up ruler. What I do with this, I like this ruler because it's square. I can do so many things with it. And when I put the handles on my bag, because I know this is 6.5 inches, this is about the size of an average pocket that you're putting on bags, which would be, if you wanted this size, a small pocket for, say, a smaller bag, you'd make it like 7.5 inches. But like I said, I'm making the pocket on this bag, which is 16.5 inches. I'm making a smaller version of a hobo bag. I keep the 6.5 inch ruler handy, and I'm going to put it back there and hope I remember where I put it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is turn Bessie on. Hope the light, I moved the computer. Hope the light's not too bright for you guys. But you know, it helps at night with a black machine and sewing on black fabric. So I had to work on Bessie today. I changed her belt. I took the belt off that pretty blue machine, trying to make her work. You do what you have to do. And like I know Rachel has that Kenmore. I would hold on to that Kenmore in case you find another one and you could use the first one for parts. This is when I start sewing, you guys, I always test. I don't know if you can see it. Yes, there you can see it. You test the stitches. You see, this little machine makes perfect stitches and it sews heavy duty fabric. Okay, let's get going. Put things on the side. And I'm going to put the threads in the back so that you can see what I'm doing. So, see, I have the directions written down. Looks like a protractor, military ruler. I used to use protractors going up, and I don't know how many of you remember slide rules. We didn't have computers and iPads and smartphones in school. We had to use protractors and slide rules and figure out like pi equals 3.1416, blah, blah, blah. Thanks everyone for hitting the like button. Thanks you guys. I appreciate you. So if you're buying fabric and would like to make a hobo bag, It says 1.5 yards of heavy fabric. I would buy two because you can always use the 2 yards for other things. Other things. And one very large button. We're not going to use the small buttons this time because we're not making those fancy pockets I have on the big hobo bag. Auntie Joanne's hobo bag was in the background. I forgot to ask her to show the inside, but you'll see the inside when it gets done because I will be making more because it's bag season and I don't have the hobo bag. I need to do some hoboing. I know I'll be hoboing around Arizona and might take a side trip to LA. Who knows? Who knows? Because my big 75th birthday is coming on November 13th, and I am going to turn up. I'm going to disappear in the world for a month. You love me, Maria. Thank you. Thank you. You're my friend too. She's crying. All right, Rachel. So, oh my gosh, you guys. I'll be 3/4 of a century old. OMG. 3/4 of a century. I just, I have to tell stories. I went to my 35th class reunion. Now it would be like my 57th class reunion if we had one. And we were sitting in tables of 10. Well, 5 of the people who were at my table are no longer on earth. Thank you, God. Thank you for all my blessings. And I'm relatively sane. I'm not crazy. Yeah, I am. I'm cray cray, but I'm not insane. Turn up. You're as young as I feel. Uh-oh. Nightbot's gonna get you, Lorraine. You accidentally use more than 3 columns. I do what I must. Yeah, we all do. And so these are the directions. I have really detailed directions because I've been making this bag a long time. Everybody, my mom has a hobo bag, my granddaughter, my two great granddaughters, other people in the family, and I sell them. I sell them. You a cray cray top too. Okay, so now I'm going to. Oh, and when you're sewing, have extra needles ready. These needles, I'm going to sew jeans, but I want to show you an assorted pack that goes from fine to 120. And class A are like expensive needles. These aren't cheap ones. I think they might be titanium. Titanium needles work, but the bigger the number, like the 18, 16, that's for jeans and heavy stuff. The fine needles are like for sewing lace. Most of my big needles are gone and they have big holes in them. Oh, thank you. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. So let me put the button over here so I won't lose it and get started sewing the pocket. Oh, Rachel, the first thing you're going to do after you cut your fabric out, the first thing you're going to do, you can either serge around the edges. For those of you who have pinking shears, I happen to pink these. I did these years ago. And I stay stitched around the edges. Stay stitched just means a thin line of stitching, 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch inside. Hello, Susan Blissful Acres. Thank you for coming. And I use white because I can see it. I can't see black on black. I don't know if I'm sewing straight or crooked. And black on black in a black machine, black on black in black, and it's too much. So I use, and most quilters use like a gray or a tan anyway. I never use white thread. So Rachel, what you're going to do is cut around the edges. You can serge it or stay stitch it. And then I will be doing something else to show the pocket. Fold your fabric in half and make a little template 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches and cut in the corner. Tracy, passionately intrigued arts. Remember when you were doing the other bag and you made the triangle down here? This is another way of making a square corner. What am I doing? I'm not holding this right. A square corner without the bulk for your machine to sew through. So while Rachel's doing that, I will get my pocket together. This, I thought it was 12 inches by 12 inches, but that's what you get for thinking. I didn't measure it. I made the lining 12 inches by 12 inches, and you always put right sides together. Okay, I'm going to take a vote. How about this? Okay, the bag is going to be this color outside. All right, this is going to be the outside with the black. The pocket is going to be lined with this black, and this is that really rich, thick Kona black. Kona sells some of the heaviest cotton in the United States, and even with that bright light, you almost can't even see through this black. Susan Blissful Acres says she can't see black on black and won't even try anymore. Yes, black, black, black. I love it. I love it. When this goes on sale, or actually, I prefer when it's not on sale because it's like, I don't know, $9, $10 a yard, $8.99. Serge means, Lorraine T, it's a special sewing machine and it's a combination. And I'll tell you how you can make your own serger stitch, Lorraine. It's a combination. You know how I just stay stitched around the edge? Well, if you make a 1/4 inch seam, a straight seam going around the edge, then you go around with a zigzag stitch, the same edge, it ends up being the same as a serger, except a serger can trim as it cuts, or you can make it so that it doesn't trim as it cuts. But I'm trying to make my instructions so that if anyone has a straight sew machine, an antique machine, you don't need one of those fancy machines to make anything. And so I'm making it on my favorite machine, which is Bessie. She's 75 years old like me. She was born in 1948. And she does everything that them young whippersnappers can do. Hi, pescatarian gardener. Thank you for coming. Thanks, all of you. All of you. I appreciate each and every one of you, especially you moderators. When I can't see the chat or do anything, you guys have my back. I appreciate each and every one of you. So I want to take a vote. That's why I'm looking you in your eyes. And do you want, since this is the outside, should I make my pocket so there's a contrast? Or should I make my pocket so that it blends in? It's up to you. Let me know in the chat. Put a G for gold or a B for black. Which one do you think I should put on the outside? And that's what I will do. I'm picking up things that I dropped. Contrast. Maria Graham said, yes, contrast. Okay. Because I have a secret. Rachel's going to use the webbing, right? So, like I said, when I make bags, I make so many at one time, at least no less than 2. The gold, everybody likes the gold on the outside. Okay, because guess what? I already had these handles made, and the black will hide dirt. and there's no leather on them. I may put some leather trim on the end. So I have pre-sewn my handles. Not today. I don't even know when. Years ago. So Rachel has the webbing, and I have pre-made bags. And that long strap that was on the duffel bag, this one is cut in half. Cut in half. And Rachel, the fabric that I told you to buy, you're going to cut your pocket, make 12 inches by 12 inches, and you will cut a strip of, not a strip, a piece of your fabric. This is my double-sided fabric, and a piece of fabric, this black Kona, I'm going to use for the pocket, and you put right sides together. So I'm going to put the gold on the inside because I'm going to sew around the edges and then turn it inside out. If I missed anybody, you guys in the chat and the moderators, please welcome them. A magnetic, oh, you can't sew a straight line? Well, you can do that, or you guys see my machine? Even though this is an old machine, I have a special 1/4 inch foot. I'll show you guys something later on. There's a way that you can titrate this to make sure if you're sewing an exact 1/4 inch. For making a bag, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for a bag as long as you make all the parts on the same sewing machine with the same foot. Okay. The other thing that you can do and I'll show you, I'll turn this machine around. On the side of the foot, you can put, and this is what I do sometimes. I'll show you right now, Susan. You know, I've been sewing forever. I've got just about every little thing you can imagine. I should have some tape in here, but maybe not. You can just put a piece of masking tape. Right on the side. I may have taken the tape out because this bag was old and I took it to Arizona. Things are hot there, and I may have thrown it out. Okay, so moving right along, let's just keep pinning this pocket. He has a job to do. She is Sunshine. Hello, She is Sunshine. If you're in the chat, I see people speaking. Rachel on Vice LLC, since you are making this bag, I don't know if Tracy is. With your fabric, when you cut out your pocket, also cut 1 2.5 inch strip of fabric, because this is what you're going to use for the binding on the top of the bag. And you will also cut another piece of fabric that's 2.5 inches and cut that one at, just leave it at 2.5 inches for now, because you'll have an option whether you want to make a tie for your bag, or this one, I'm going to make a loop for that big button that I'm going to sew on later on. Okay, you guys. So moving right along, I will be pinning this, just a few little pins, just to keep it from slipping. And I'm going to use the pocket as a guide because I cut the lining too big. So I will just be sewing around here. And I'm going to put a place over here to stop. Hello, Mona, sifting some soil. Thank you for coming. You're not today. You're back in near Hickey. That's that weather, girlfriend. Wait till you guys get my age. Wait till my age. And you see Auntie Joanne hopping around like a spring chicken. I would be just getting to the back door of that house. And and it's 75 feet from the front door just to the kitchen counter. She went all the way outside. All the way outside. I would still be walking. Okay, so I'm putting a pin in the corners. That fabric looks really nice and heavy. It is, Lorraine. It is. And for those that before I sew it, you guys, that's one side. This is the other side. And it has like a thin polyester, lightweight polyester binding on batting on the inside. So this is all ready. This is ready. And it's warm. It's warm. It's thick. Like if your computer is in there or something and you're traveling. All right, all right, all right. So, okay, Bessie, act right. Rachel can tell you the machines, everything goes wrong when you're live. You stretch a ligament in your knee last month. Oh, Auntie Joanne is fine, fine, fine. She really is. I shouldn't say this, but I will. I'm so proud of my sister. My, Auntie Joanne wears a size 6. That's the largest size she's ever worn in her whole life. When she worked, she wore a size 4. She retired from one of the airlines and she wore a size 4 tall uniform. Oh well, I'm holding it down for the thick girls. My I don't know, it was either my second husband or my third husband. He said he saved my life. I was starving to death before he met me. He thickened me up. I've been thick ever since. I'm good. I'm healthy and I'm wise. Wealthy, well, I make money. Money don't make me. Okay, so come on. Oh, it's working. I had to change the belt today. Move the motor around on this. And I'm going to make usual on old machines, it doesn't say like 2.5 stitches or 3 stitches. Unbias your sock. Oh, your socks are size 4. That's funny. I've always been the I think I was 5'5.5" when I was 12. I never got any taller. Auntie J is like 5'7.5", something like that. My brother, my baby sister's like 5'10". My brothers are like 6'2", 6'4", something like that. I'm good, but I'm still the boss. I'm the oldest. Your pinky is a size 6. Oh God, you guys are funny. I have to take a minute and read and see what you're saying because you guys are so much fun. I rewatched the video from the other night. That was hilarious. You guys are hilarious. So I'm sewing with white thread for 2 reasons. Number 1, so that you can see them. And number 1, am I sewing? Yep, it's sewing. Why is this gathering up? Oh, because it broke. Yeah, Rachel, don't worry. You're not the only one it messes up when you go live. That's life. C'est la vie. Okay, Sarah, Sarah. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours, you see. Okay, Sarah, Sarah. When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what would I be? Would I be handsome? Would I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, sera. Thank you, Lorraine T. My sister loves me. I actually think my sister loves me more than my mom. Yeah. Okay, so the top thread broke. I'm going. Whenever your thread breaks, you guys, it's there's usually one little piece that's not cut properly. So I'm going to take some little scissors and cut this. I have to tell you a funny story. Why? Because you're in the chat and I can't see what you guys are saying. Doris Day, you see these stitches? How sharp they are? Those of you who work in the ER, or yeah, I don't get to stay up at night on Friday with Big Rooster and all them singing, or with I Bring It Every Day singing. So I'll sing on my channel. Do you know what these scissors are? Those of you in the medical industry. Last time I had some stitches removed, I asked the doctor, what would I, no, could I have the scissors so I can sew for me? Okay, so these were the scissors that they took the stitches out of my knee or my hip or something, or the bandage. It was in the package, but I figured they charged my insurance company for it, and I'm keeping them. Anything I got charged for, we don't know how to say. You guys do say your heart out. I'll be in a suture remover scissors. Exactly, pescatarian. I've got so many of these. I've had so many stitches in the last whatever. I just asked them for my scissors, tweezers, everything, everything my insurance pays for. I want the little things they give you in your room in case you get sick on the stomach in the hospital. I want that too. Those of you who thread needles, I've got little pieces of white paper that I put behind it so that I can see. And for those of you who have never sewn with a Singer featherweight, oh my gosh, I did it the first time, sissy. For those who don't know, I was legally, I have to look at you sometimes. I was legally blind. You do that, PIA, with the white paper? Yes, I keep little things of white paper. I forgot what I was going to tell you guys. I will just keep sewing and see what happens. Oh, you could see. Okay, come on, Bessie. This machine was slipping. Then I bought a super. Oh, Lorraine T, you just bought a featherweight. When you buy a belt from the featherweight shop, don't buy a regular belt. There's one called a super belt. Why? I don't know. Because they can charge you super money for it, is the only thing I can think of. One more stitch to the edge. When you come to an edge, for those of you who are just starting to sew, you leave the needle down and turn your fabric. And Rachel Unbiased LLC gives classes to children, but they're the same for an adult. If you want to watch them, they go over the parts of the machine, what you do, what the levers are for. This is an antique machine, so it works a little differently. It may or not be perfectly timed and tuned because Auntie Ellen decided that she's a mechanic now and she wants to work on her own. No, at the hospital. What's at the hospital? And also, my dear, never thought of asking for the scissors. Yeah. Oh, and I have the forceps too. These are for taking sutures out of a body. These are not the type of tweezers that I use For my embroidery machine or my other stuff, they're heavy duty. This is just for picking something up that's light that I can't quite reach. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nope, 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 Rachel. You're right. So these little things, no, my insurance paid for them. I have them. Several pairs. Several pairs. Okay, Marilee, we sew along. Sew along, sew along. And I've got it. I'm sewing slowly so that I can hear you guys. It was fun having people live. That was the most people I've ever had live. And I'm deciding how big of an opening I'm going to leave to turn this. I am not a size 4 or 6. I am a size 14. And my fingers are according. Oh, 14 at the top. The bottom might be inching up to a 16. It might. It just might. The thighs and the legs and those their parts. So I will get Unbiased teaches. She teaches sewing classes to children. I don't know if she does online. She can answer you. You're budgeting for that super belt? Yes. Well, stay out of the machine shop, Rachel. I don't mean Rachel. I mean Lorraine. And stop buying machines. She's bought, I don't know, at least 2 in the last month. Let me shut up. Stop telling her business. So now, since the fabric was uneven sizes, I'm trimming off this black. But this fabric was expensive, whether I bought it on sale or not. It's usually $8.99 full retail. So I save even these little strips. And when I'm using my African fabrics and whatnot on postcards, here's a nice little piece to add. It's not even, it doesn't matter. But I'm not throwing it away. I don't throw anything away. I try to use everything. And see this little bag? My scraps are already ironed. I put them right in there. And they stay ironed. The string is trying to get a free ride. And I put it in my little crumb bag. Tiny pieces of fabric are called crumbs. Some people sew the crumbs into blocks and make quilts out of them. I don't do it. I used to. I have some tiny little blocks in quilts. Rachel, blocks that are 1.5 inches, 2,500 pieces in a quilt. I'm not making those anymore. I don't know how much time I have left. I'm not spending it on any one quilt. Nah, not me. Oh, I know something I want to tell you guys. A little tip. You see this thread? The spool thread is made to come up, to spool up. It's not made like this one has a slight spool. It's not made like a flat spool like this that goes this way that you can put on a machine or this way on a machine. So what you can do, you don't have to have one of these fancy thread spoolers. You can just drop. I've seen people just leave it on the counter, but me, I'm clumsy. I would knock it over. Just take a mug, a regular drinking mug, and put it on the floor in front of your machine a little to the left. Why a little to the left? Because if it's to the right, the thread coming up might get caught in your sewing wheel. I'm turning this light back around. Oh, another thing, Lorraine T. I took the light out and I have an LED light. For those of you who have never changed a sewing machine light, or you'd like to change one for your wife or make a couple of extra dollars, I saw Rachel Unbiased teaching her grandson. Well, when my great grandson was about 6, I went to Walmart somewhere, the dollar store, I don't remember. And I bought him a small fishing box. What did we put in the fishing box? I got some sewing machine oil. I got him a screwdriver. I got him a Phillips head screwdriver, some rags, and I let him help me oil my machines. And gave him $1 the first time. And that's one thing you can teach kids how to do with these old machines. You can teach the kids, especially the boys, how to do it. The girls should know too, because I was always in Daddy's toolbox. I was the worst daughter. I was trying to make go-karts. I was always trying to make stuff. I'm glad Auntie Joanne stepped down. She didn't tell you about me bringing worms in the house and all the other things. But I'm sure when she goes live with me in Arizona, what I'm doing is trimming the corners right now. Why am I using these tiny scissors? I don't know. It takes so much time. For those of you who don't sew or don't have a sewing kit, I didn't give any directions on what to get, because this little thing for $10 at Walmart, Wally World, it's cheaper than any of the other stores I've ever seen. I recommend these for my students in class. And look at all the stuff that comes in it. It's still in there because I never use it. I've got the big scissors. There are a big pair of scissors, just like the little ones, but they're in my postcard case because I actually use those. I actually use those. This has a little 6-inch ruler, scissors, a white chalk marker, a measuring tape, needles, a few pins, black thread, white thread, and a thimble. You will need a thimble at some time. Auntie Bev, I don't know if she used a thimble when she was making that postcard that she made by hand, sewing through the cardstock, or if she used like the back of a table or something. But all this comes for $10. And the little kit comes in colors. It comes in pink, black, white, and blue. So I got blue. I'm not a pinky kind of girl. I don't pink and me. I like blue. Purple's my favorite color, as you know. Blue is my second favorite. Okay, so now I'm finding the opening that I left. And I stick my fingers in, and I'm going to turn the pocket inside out. You get in a habit when you turn a lot of pockets. You start at whatever corner is easier for you. Then it's like almost like pulling up those hot dog pillowcases inside out. And I just try to, when I'm turning it, just keep pulling it on one side till I get around, stick my finger in it. Rachel Bias, Unbiased, has me doing this bag thing live. I know she's enjoying it. And you guys who want to make it in the future can go back and watch the video. This is my handy dandy chopstick. It's one of the things I always have next to my sewing machine. I used to have two in case I wanted to snack. F.R. Humphrey said she got her looking for a kit like that. Actually, Amazon, I don't know if they have it as cheaply, Felicia. And you know I have everything for sewing, but to have it all, and see this little bad boy fell out. I obviously don't use it. Why? It's cute. You have to be careful though, because these long pins, I use the long pins for this thick fabric. This one's, look, bent already. I probably used it once or twice. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Auntie. But thank you. I don't know what happened. Do not touch Daddy's tools. That's why you have your own. I have all the stuff. I'm not talking, but I took real wood shop classes. I have the DeWalt drills and drill bits and stuff. Auntie made real wood stuff. So the reason I don't use this is because I make big quilts and stuff. This was a handmade wool, what do you call it? A wool pincushion that's shrunken. I've had this for at least 10 years and it looks like new. And I put a lot of pins in them. Okay. So this little pin cushion I'll put over there to go back in its little case and continue turning the corners out. Okay. Rachel and Tracy, I know you're watching and taking notes. So I'm going to smooth this down with my hands and turn this under. Turn this under with my hands. Got to get the LED light. You've been using a headlight to see at night. When I thread a needle, I need a magnifying glass. I used a magnifying glass before, a big one, at Auntie Joanne's house. She'll tell you her magnifying glass. Oh, Auntie Joanne has a studio, a big room. She gives me a different room upstairs, so I'm not trashing her room. I'll be right back, you guys, because if you want it done right, you really should press it. You want your bag to look nice. And if I were making my handles and things now, I would turn them under. And Rachel and Passionately Intrigued Arts, the 2.5-inch strip that you cut, fold it down 1/4 of an inch and press it. I'll show you why in a minute. I'll be back. You guys entertain each other. See, if I had somebody live, they could be singing to you or doing something. This iron heats up fast. It won't take long. Nowadays, all the irons turn off. So while that thing is heating up, I'll come back and see what my family's doing in the chat. Oh, Lord, the iron. This is a beautiful bag. Thank you. Well, I have the small iron under here that I use for embroidery. But look at this little thing. I use this for embroidery, but we're doing a double thickness plus batting. It will take forever for this little thing to heat up. I take this when I go to class, my embroidery classes, Rachel and whoever does the applique embroidery, Susan Blissful Acres. And what I like about this little iron, though, it has a really long cord. Sometimes when you go to class, you're not sitting next to the power box. That's another thing, you guys. When you have these expensive machines, these antique machines, any machine, don't just plug it into the wall. I never plug mine into a wall. I plug mine into a heavy duty power strip with the cutoff button. And then I can plug my iron in it, my sewing machine, anything else. All right. I will be right back. I'll leave the machine up so you can look at my jacket drawing in the background and some of my art that's up there. My carvings. Some are from Tanzania, hand carried back by my daughter on a visit. Okay, I'm ironing the pocket flat. I will be right back, you guys. I hear the steam coming out of it. And don't, I'll repeat it when I get over there. Coming. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Mr. Hershey will bark. If I say I'm COIMING, Hershey will bark because he thinks I'm going to the door and somebody's trying to come in. Y'all can stop now. Nothing funny here. Yikes, the iron. We have to turn on the generator. Well, that's okay. Oh, guess what? I got to show you guys something. Because we sew and chat. No, you don't, Susan. Susan, my darling. I don't know how many of you live off grid or whatever. I also have a small washboard that you can wash clothes with. But ta-da! Anybody ever seen one of these? This is an iron you can put in the fire and heat it up. You don't got to turn on the generator, girlfriend. You don't got to run up the heat. I've had this forever. I don't know where it came from. I think somewhere in North Carolina, but it's an antique and I just like having it around. And I have lived off grid. So yeah, you can iron off grid without a generator. Ugh. Hard times. I have lived in the country off grid and we did have electricity after a while, but way out in the country, the lines can go down. You might not have electricity for a week. And we had one building that had one of those little black wood stoves, and we would go over there and cook and stay warm and do everything else. Hi, Erica Taylor. She's listening and knitting. Yay. You used to heat it on the wood stove too? Yeah. Just saw one at Cracker Barrel. I love antiques. I'm an antique. Well, you all better stay in touch with Auntie Joanne because when I'm gone, nobody in the family wants this stuff. They're like, oh, Ma. Actually, I had 4 acres of this kind of stuff, and I just narrowed it down to a few of my favorite things, and then I don't feel so sad. So what I'm doing now is sewing the 1/4 inch strip that I turned under. I'm sewing it so that it will be a finished edge when I use it at the top of this bag. I hope this light doesn't bother you guys. I have to bring the machine a little closer. So this would be a lovely Christmas gift for yourself or anybody else. Because you're not going to be able to buy a bag this quality. There is a designer. She's actually a quilter. And her name is Vera Bradley. She has a famous line of bags. But guess what? I never liked her colors. I never liked the colors in her bag. I loved the quilted bag, so I just started making my own. I've sewn all my life. I made my first skirt when I was about 8 years old by hand. It was pleated with this white fabric and these little purple flowers. Ugliest fabric you ever saw, but I loved it. I look at it as an adult and I'm saying, what in the world? How did my mother let me buy that? They bought it for me. These scissors they bought for me when I was in junior high, high school or something, and sewing. They bought me the best of everything that I wanted. Yes, I was spoiled. I'm still spoiled, but guess what? I also work hard. Now, let me show you this piece because I'm chain sewing, meaning you can heat the iron in the oven. Yes, you can. Wait. No, I don't know. I don't know what this top part is made of. It looks like you can, but it would be very hot, I would think. You would have to use a glove. Those of you, can you imagine people used to really iron with these? They usually had more than one. While they're ironing with one, the other one was in the fireplace. I also love houses with fireplaces. I'm thinking the last house didn't have a fireplace, but when I was in California, the house there had a fireplace. And when you're looking at buying fabric, I love looking at the label to see. And the fabric that doesn't have a label, it'll work. Hello, Crafty Mom Creations. Thanks for coming. You love my vintage singer. Thank you. This the top is wood. If the top is wood, I think you're talking about the iron. No, you can't heat that in the oven, Susan Blissful Acres. So now this is going to be the top loop. Remember, I told Tracy and Rachel to cut another piece of fabric. You see, this one was 2.5 inches, and we sewed the edge under. This one is 2.5 inches. Now, if you want to make a tie, Erica Taylor, she's not scared. Now you about talking trash. He about to get slapped. He about to get slapped back to his neighborhood. So this was a 2.5 inch strip. And at the ironing board, of course I did it previously to save some time. I ironed it in half. Then I opened it up and I ironed. Let me hold it down for you. So this was a 2.5 inch piece of fabric. Hi, Mr. Hershey. What do you want? I don't know. You guys can see Mr. Hershey on the side of my lap down here. So this is ironed in half. Then I opened it up and I folded the outer edge to the middle. Can you see that? Then I folded the other half to the middle and I ironed it. Then I ironed them closed. Okay, this is you made your German Shepherd a bow tie. That's so cute. That's so cute. Thank you for coming, Crafty Mom Creations. Maybe heat up your cast iron and put the cast iron on it. I just make a little fire outside. A little fire outside your door. Because that thing is, whatever kind of iron it is, it stays warm a long time. So now I'm going to edge stitch along here because what I'm going to do on the bag, this is going to make a loop. A loop. It's going to be open like this to go over the button that we're going to put on the front. So out of all the fabric that you bought, Rachel, just to recap, and Tracy, I would get the 2 yards, Tracy, if you don't already have it. I'm going to cut this little part off this time with the writing on it, the fancy writing that says where the fabric came from. And I like to start sewing and not on the edges of the corner, but somewhere in the middle. So now I'm going to make a tiny little stitch around the edge. Whoops, backwards. And I'm using an off-white cream colored thread. You can use bone, you can use ivory. And I'm telling you that because I don't change threads. I buy these 1,250 yard spools, whatever. I buy several of them. This is actually quilting thread. There are different weights of thread. Quilting thread is the heaviest. I don't remember how many grains or loops it is, but when you're making a quilt, making a bag, you don't want to do all that work and it comes apart. So now This is going to be the binding for the top of your hobo bag that you can stay out a while, stay more than 1 hour, sit on the grill. Yeah, that's a good idea. You can sit it on the grill, Susan, and cook at the same time. Keep one part dry for the iron. So now I'm edge stitching the loop. How many of these bags have I made in my lifetime? I don't know. Hundreds. I like the ones when I make tubing and braid the straps. That's really cute, but I didn't think it was appropriate for this bag. I wanted to keep it flat to go on my shoulder. So I have a 1/4 inch foot on this machine, and I have learned that if I sew just with this foot, just on the inside, and no, I don't sew very fast. I know that you can sew fast. I have an industrial machine over in the corner. I sew slowly because for me, when I go fast, sometimes it's straight, sometimes it's not. For me, with my quilting, and especially when I make show quilts and stuff, I want it to be right. I want it to fit right. So I sew slowly. That's just me, my style. You do yours. You don't have to go like I do. And when you're partially blind, when you're blind in one eye, your depth perception is off and it's difficult to sew straight. Am I keeping this bag? I don't think so. I don't know. How long have I had my Singer? This one I've had 25 years. I have another one over there just because we're chit chatting and hanging out tonight. Uh-oh. Why don't I move this one? This tote has the jeans in it. I keep stepping over it. All right. I won't take this out. But this poor girl, this is Miss Blue. She's a pretty girl. I bought her for my birthday a couple years ago. But, oh, that's the back, stupid. Ugh. That's the front. And I stole the belt off of her for Bessie. I don't care nothing about no pretty girls. I like the one that's made for hard work. And you see the lovely stitches that she makes. These old machines sew one stitch, but it's straight and it's a really nice stitch. And see these? Those of you who crochet, this is called a spool pin doily. They sell these on Etsy for $5 and up. It looks like a little rose. Looks like a little rose. And you just put it over that little thing. And it just looks cute. Dresses up your machine. Okay. Here we go again. So now, see what you guys are saying. Thank you. I had her painted, especially blue. I had that machine refinished by a guy in Texas who refurbishes featherweights, especially this model of this machine, and he did it for me for a special favor. What I'm going to do to decorate this pocket, I can put it on like this, but I'm going to do a line of edge stitching over here just to make it look cute. This isn't the side that's open. The rest of it I'm going to sew really close to the end. And one thing I wanted to tell you guys, when you buy these pins, most of these are plastic, not glass. Do not iron over them. You'll ruin your iron and it will melt the plastic into your fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to do just a little line of edge stitching. Okay. Lorraine T bought 2 vintage machines, and that's Spartan. I'll show you guys the motor on this one. This is a half-liter motor. The one that Lorraine T has, her Spartan. Oh, and Nikki's sister has a Spartan too. Those are 3/4 weight machines, 3/4 liter machines, and they are really, really strong. Oh, when you move your flywheel, you only move it forward. When you see me do something over here, I'm moving it forward, but on an antique machine, you always stop with this thing up. And the reason you leave this up is because the way a machine works, any machine, the bobbin turns around and there's tension on it. When it gets to a certain point, it makes a stitch and then it lets go. There's no tension on it. So that's when you want to remove the needle. And when it lets go is when on this machine, this part is up. So I always start with this start up. And if you're looking down and you don't know, your needle down here is also up. So when you see me, sometimes I wiggle it to get to that loose part. When you really get to know your machine, you can feel it. It's like when you used to drive a stick shift and you shifted gears, the gears were always like a 4-speed, 5-speed, 6-speed, whatever. But you knew when it got to that sweet spot, and it was different on different machines. Okay, so you can't really see the stitching on that side, even though it's gray. Barely, but on the back, you see that? This makes it, I don't know, sturdy. I don't know why or how, but, and it looks nice. This I need to put up before I lose it. How about there? Now, I'm going to take my bag and knock this over already. I'm going to move this over. Oh, one thing, Tracy, and those of you who have these antique machines, be very, very careful. If you don't have an LED bulb, this LED bulb never gets hot. If you grab this machine after you've been sewing 5-6 hours underneath here, you're going to scald your hand. You're going to get a real bad burn. So be careful when you're sewing and you don't have an LED bulb in these old machines. This machine is all iron. They can take this and soak it in kerosene, all rusted out, and repaint it and make it like new again. Yes, 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 always up. I was wondering what those things are at the top of the machine. Yes, thank you. So now I'm going to just lay this out. And I'm going to put this, actually, I'm measuring from the top because I'm going to fold this down a little bit, just a little bit. Let's see how far from the top I want to make this. How far do I want to reach when I have this on my shoulder, this big shoulder, to reach in here to get my cell phone or whatever, some seeds that I'm planting outside, something. I think I will put it down 4 inches. So I'm going to put a little pin here. And I want to center it. How do you center anything? The easy way, you fold it in half and you put a pin that you can see in the top in the middle. It looks like a lot, but that's just because I'm talking, Rachel and Lorraine. This thing would have been finished. Rachel was saying that I'm talking, like when she does it, she realizes that. And so, okay, where did the pocket fall? So that's the middle of the bag. Here is the pocket. This pin is on the bottom. And remember, I stitched across the top. So I'm going to take this bag now and find the middle. This is the easy way. All that measuring, like what's half of this, and dividing it in half, that's not necessary. Then you line up the two pins. I said I was going to put it here in the middle. And now what I will do, I don't know where the small one, this is why I keep this one here. I will see if this side is 4 inches. I have to measure from this side. This side is 4 inches. No. So I slid it up a little bit. And I'm going to put a pin on this side. And the other thing is, by using this instead of a ruler, I can see if it's parallel, if it's square. Those of you who have ever taken carpentry or built a house or something, they use like a square, a level, and it has a 90-degree angle on it to make sure that it's straight. Now I'm going to take this ruler and see if this side is straight. No, not quite. It looks straight, but it was lopsided. You do this when you're doing t-shirts, you're sublimating, whatever your work. Just take that half second to make sure that it is where it's supposed to be. Don't be giving people crooked stuff, half done stuff slapped together and think they're going to pay you for it, because they'll say, oh, yes, I want it. They look at it all slapped together. They're not going to pay you. Even if you have a deposit, they're not going to pay you. And the worst thing of all, they're going to go around town and tell everybody what a lousy job you did. They're going to go on their channels and talk about you like a dog. And I'm trying to put this where you can see it, where I sew again. And so it's not worth it. I found out, like in marketing classes, that one satisfied customer will tell someone. One dissatisfied customer will tell 10 people. I don't know if you've ever bought anything on Amazon and it was lousy, or you had a problem with it and they call you. They'll email you and tell you that they'll fix it. They'll give you another one if you just go back online and leave a good recommendation. Okay, so I'm sewing very close to the edge. Very close to the edge on this pocket. Sorry for my hand, but I'm trying to guide it and make it straight and very close. Why? I wouldn't have to sew it this close if I'd taken 2 seconds to hand stitch the bottom of it, which I did not. Okay, so now I see some strings on here, even though they'll be inside. I'm OCD-ish, I have to cut them. Okay, so when you're quilting, when you're doing anything and you're trying to shove a lot of fabric under the arm of the machine, you roll it up. So now I'm going to, roll this up. I didn't stick myself hard, but by the way, if you ever stick yourself in sewing, the only thing that will remove blood is either peroxide or your own saliva. Just saying. No shade. Featherweights online. Sometimes I've had friends that have found featherweights for like $25. Found them on the side of the street. Goodwill has auctions and they auction theirs off. Okay, I'm sewing very close to the end so my pocket won't come loose. Very close to the edge. Felicia, why did you ask me if I'm keeping this bag? You try to get me to sell it? I certainly don't need a bag. I need a hobo bag, no matter what the fabric is. I need a hobo bag. I'm gonna go another stitch closer to the edge over here. It's a little bit curved because the thick fabric didn't go flat. What are you doing, Mr. Hershey? So here I go down here. And I love these old machines for sewing through all this fabric. So this is folded under. You know it's three thicknesses, so that's 6 close to the edge, plus the 3 in this fabric. That's 9 layers that it's sewing through like butter. Hope it's not making too much noise. I oiled her. So I'm sewing a little bit off the edge of the pocket. I'm back stitching, going forward again. And guess what? For me, my pockets, I'm going to leave the middle pin in there. Move these out of the way so I don't stick myself. And I'm going to go around. This is just me, how I make my bags. I'm rolling this under and I'm going to double stitch this. Why? Because I could put my pew pew in here if I wanted to, and some ammo. And this is a heavy duty bag. Of course I could put seeds in it. My pocket knife, some snips, whatever. Just like my apron I made with big pockets. Back stitch. So I almost went off the edge. We're almost to the exciting part where I show you how to square it off. Whoa. No harm, no foul. I backed up off the edge of the parking garage. I said, ouch. Funny story. We were at church one time, and on Sundays, whoever was driving would let the older people out, like in front of the church, and go park the car in handicap parking or wherever the parking was, right? So some lady was getting out of the car in front of us, and she slipped when the usher was reaching for her hand, and she slipped, and she said, "Oh," and the SH word came out. She goes, "Oh God, I don't know where that came from." You know where it came from. It came inside of you. You're used to cussing. You're going to cuss when you don't want to, unexpectedly. But I said whatever I said, you all. One time, I said a word and it sounded like cussing. And Yankee said, "I couldn't believe you said it." No, I said, I have my machine. I have my chat, whatever program, so that no foul words will come across. So it would not have come across if I had said that word. So I'm back stitching, even though I've done this. So I've back stitched the top of this pocket, I don't know, 8 or 9 times at least. So now I'm loosening the thread. And the pocket that you all designed is on there. I honestly was going to leave it black. Okay? Look at this nice, deep pocket. Okay. So, now the pocket is sewn. Let me see what the bag is looking good. The bag is, this bag, this fabric, you guys, I know I bought it on sale because that's the only time I would go to get it. If I was going to make a fell seam, a double-sided one like I do in the pillowcases, I would sew it differently. But since I put this edge stitching, it's not going to ravel. So that saved me a step. And this is how I'm going to sew the edges together. You say, oh, no, this is the wrong side. This is the side I decided to put inside. So now I'm going to sew the sides a little more than a 1/4 inch seam. I'm making it so that a smallish seam because I want to have as much bag as possible. Mind you, Rachel, this is not the bag, the big bag. This is actually the small duffel bag size because I wanted to make my hobo bag. I didn't mean to say duffel bag. My hobo bag, I want to be out of the jeans fabric. It's going to take a long time to sew all those back together again. So now I'm flipping it over and I'm going to pin this side. So I even them up. Some people don't pin. I'm a pinner. I am what I am. But if you get a bag from me or anybody that has one of my bags will tell you that this is what I do. I do what I do. And I put work and love and you know, I try to make it something that I would want to wear. I make every bag as if I was keeping it for myself. This doesn't seem straight one side. So you see what I'm doing? I'm tugging on it a little bit. I'm going to make it fit. Because sometimes the stitches shorten one side or something. I know I measured it correctly. So I'm going to put this to hold it this way on the end because it was trying to slip and go. And I will start on this side sewing it. Sometimes the sides are a little uneven. You can ease that in. You don't like to pin or Rachel, you don't have to. If that's your style of sewing, don't do it. Don't pin. Don't iron. You can hand sew. This is just me. This is just how I do it. It's like cooking. You may cook an entirely different way. You may fry your chicken and turn it over with the long fork. I may take it and say, oh, I want to use tongs. Doesn't matter. You do what you like to do. So now I'm going to sew the sides of this bag. Show you how quick it is. Even with all this talking. Okay. Now I'm pulling the sides even. And some people can see straight. I'll be honest, Rachel, I can't see straight. If I don't pin and mark, I don't know what you would get from me personally, because that's just how my vision is. I want to show you something that I'm going to do at the end of this row that I sewed. I'm going to backspace a little bit, forward space, and guess what? I do this on all my bags. I flip it over, and I'm going to go back the other way and double sew this seam. And I'm going to backspace again, backspace again. So I'm sewing right on the other sewing line that I just did to make a super, super, super strong bag. Do you have to do this? No. And for those of you who have sergers, you can serge the seams. You can zigzag it up there for those of you who want to do that. But, I mean, even now, with the double seam, if you had a machine that zigzagged, you could zigzag and it would be like, just like you serged it. But I promise you, double sewing this with this heavy quilting thread, this girl is not coming apart. She is not going to come unhinged. Okay? So what am I doing? I'm sewing the other end, the other side. I'm just going to keep going. I'm not going to break the thread and waste another 6 inches of thread. So I'm going to backspace because that's the top. Make sure I'm going straight. Whoops. Okay. So where are my snips? Ouch. The fabric is long enough that I can go to the other side without cutting it. So, yep, that's the right one. So now I'm sewing the other side for the first time. The next part is the trick that I want to show you about squaring the bottom. It's making some kind of funny little noise. So now I'm going to do the same thing on this side and flip it and double sew this side. Lorraine T has one of my bags. She'll tell you. It is well sewn. This came out. Okay. Put you down. Sew back a little bit. I forgot my sister Joanne Stevens had all those bags in her closet that I made her. And I make them for my daughter, my mom, my other baby sister Della, who's not on social media, at least not on here. My great-granddaughters. That's what they get from me. Whether they use it or not, like it or not, or they can sell it. The hens. Oh, Lorraine T has the chicken and hens. Auntie Joanne, I don't know if you were in here. Auntie Joanne has a bag with chickens and hens. I love chickens. I don't have any anymore, but I used to. My favorite chickens are Buff Orpingtons, and I had a lot of Silkies. Silky chickens. Hello, Bo Adventures. Thank you for coming and welcome. Silky chickens have black skin. They're Chinese chickens. Yes, you eat them, but for their size, they're like intermediate to small size, but they lay pretty large size, like tannish, oval looking eggs. And Bo Adventures is speaking to everybody. For those of you who don't know, Bo Adventures is in Thailand. And she's one of my friends. I'm one of her subscribers. Okay, so the sides are done. Now, this is the exciting part. Oh, she's the two chats are different. So this is the bottom seam of the bag. And I'm going to stick a pin here so that I can see it because there's no seam here. Hey, Mr. Hershey, you hear Auntie Joanne? You heard Auntie's voice. You want to get up on my lap, but you can't. I'm working. Hi. So I'm putting a pin on this side. Bo Adventures is speaking to everybody in the chat. How's the weather in Thailand today, Bo Adventures? So now here's the exciting part. You cut this square out. We're going to open it up this way. In the seams, there's no seam to match it up with over here. Actually, this one has a little crease. I'm going to cut that out where it doesn't quite add. Do I have to do this? No. I'm just OCD-ish like that, as Nikki would say. So, they're not going live tonight. I'm pretty sure. So, whoop, I put a pin in my mouth. Guilty, guilty, guilty. I threw it away. So if you sometimes you have a different kind of seam, you put one forward, one back. I'm just going to push it sideways to one side. Oh, you're in the rainy season over there? Oh. Oh, that's right. I think your seasons are reversed. So I'm going to sew this corner, ouch, first so that I can show you guys. Trying to watch the chat. Look at this bag. Ouch. What's going on here? Why am I getting stuck? Let's see if I got all the pins out. Yes. Okay. So this is what makes this bag square. I'm going to take it, and you don't have that big, thick triangle. I'm going to take this and put it under the head of the needle. Forward, backward, and let's go. Be sure not to sew over the needle that you have holding it. This is the most exciting thing on the whole bag. Back stitch, go forward. Yep, I'm going to flip it over. Wait a minute, is this? Huh. I'm not going to flip it over because the bobbin fits up. And I will find out why in just a second. Oh, I know why. Murphy's Law. When you go live, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. That's why. But it's just a test. We got this. No biggie. Actually, the bobbin possibly is out. Nope, not out. You know what? I know what. I don't like this thread. I'm going to change this thread. Because I know that I have another thread in here that's heavier. This is my bobbin case for my featherweight. I keep pre-round bobbins in there. Guess what? I don't know. I even have some that are black. So since the bobbin is black and it's not on the side that I'm sewing on, I'm looking at the others. It doesn't really matter. Maybe I put a black bobbin in. Not this one. Since there is black, but I don't want it on the side that I'm sewing because I can't see it. No, you know what? I'm talking to myself. I'm going to keep with the tan because when I turn it over, I won't be able to see the line to sew on. Uh-oh. Okie doke. So here we go. And I will show you. I don't know if Lorraine T has been playing with her new featherweight. Let me do this. So this is a bobbin case. When you have, Rachel said everything goes wrong. You're doing the cool thing, Auntie. Thank you. She said it's warm in Thailand, but it's the rainy season. So this bobbin has a little hand. When you're putting it in the machine, oh, I thought the light was too bright. When you're putting it in the machine, you don't hold it by this handle because I don't know, it could do something to the mechanism. And these bobbins are $160 to $200 to replace them. And you don't get the original ones, are not made like the knockoffs, the new ones. So let me do this again. This is a bobbin case. I'll do it like you're looking at it so it's not backwards. And you see how the tail is coming off on the right, Lorraine? Those who have a featherweight, you put it in that way. And then the little slot, you pull it down until you get to this little hole in the bottom. Oops. And then it comes out. Well, it missed my funny bone, so that's good. And if the bobbin doesn't go in, it means usually that the needle is not in the upright position. You know, that clear space, for those of you who were here in the beginning. Then I take the, well, I'll close that. I'm trying to keep the bright light from being in your eye. This LED bright light is really bright on this black machine. I love it for sewing, but I don't want it to be against your eyes. So you put the needle down once by putting the flywheel forward and you pull up the bottom thread. I knew it wasn't going to do that because it was too long. But there it is, wiggling it by the sweet spot, it's up. So then I bring it forward and cut it. And I just looked under to make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. And now I have to go back and sew this silly corner that didn't. Oh, I know what. I'm using 12 stitches per inch. This is a lot of thicknesses. I'm going to lengthen my stitch length to about 10. That's what I'm going to do. All those tiny stitches over all that fabric. And I'm just going to trim this little edge. You can do that when you're sewing so that they match. And I'm going to put a pin up here just to keep it going flat. So this is what it looks like on the square edge for those of you who are sewing it before you sew it. Now, back under, this time with a longer stitch length, sewing through all these thicknesses because there's 4 layers of fabric and 1 layer of batting in there, or 2 layers of batting. So I'm sewing straight across that little square bottom. Back stitching, take this pin out so that I don't get stuck. When I saw the thread come with the needle, I was like, happy day. Yeah, okay. So I'm making sure no pins over there that I stuck for reference, and I'm going to flip it. Why? Because Auntie Ellen sews her bags double stitch. Like I said, you could put your pew-pew, you could carry anything. In this HOBO bag, you can HOBO anywhere you want and take enough. Yeah. The longer stitch length, not because it's a square bottom, but just because of the fabric it's on, I could have used a longer stitch on all these thick fabrics. I do. It depends on what I'm doing. When I'm quilting, I often do that. But these little stitches are herky-jerky, stop and start. So I just do it. It's like automatic. When you see that there's something, the thread keeps breaking, you have to do something to change it. So that might not even be it. It's just what I chose to do, and we'll see what happens in addition to changing the thread. I know that this is a heavier thread than what I just had in there. Why? Because I use a little bobbin threader and I thread 4 or 5 bobbins at the same time. Look at this. You see this? You guys who sew, just 1 second when I do the other one and turn it out, and this bag will have a square bottom. See, a square, a loose hair up there, loose string up its butt. So there it goes. Oh, see this? I hate this. That's why I use that big ruler. It's clear. It's very nice. I put it down and I can't see it at night. Sounds like a good tip advice for a longer stitch because the fabric is thicker. Yes. Okay. Let's rock and roll. Rachel wanted this bag, one of a kind. So here on the other side, there's the pin in the middle marking the sweet spot. So I'm going to match it up with the seam. I'm going to actually put it in the seam, straighten the edges up, and sew across. Let me make sure. Let me do it on this side. I don't know why that's how I look squirrely. When you sew a long time, you can tell when something is slightly off. Is it everything going to be perfect every time? Nope. But you make adjustments. Just like in your cooking. Has anybody ever like grabbed the cinnamon instead of the black pepper or something like that? Put too much salt in, put the salt in twice. You got to put a pinch of sugar to sweeten it up so nobody knows. Oh, by the way, I cooked some squash and onions from the garden, fresh from the garden today. So good. There were only 2 little baby ones. You know the baby ones are so tender. Oh my goodness, that was the best lunch. I had that in chicken parm and a little bit of noodles. Okay, so now I'm sewing straight across the other corner, which did not look flat to me from the other side, but I'm going to stitch it out anyway. Glad I kept this off-white thread, else I wouldn't have been able to see the black. Gonna flip it over. It's getting exciting because I'm going to reveal this square corner to those of you who've never done a square corner this way. And it makes the bag sit flat when you're not even with all your stuff in it and you're not even holding it. You can sit it on a bench, a chair, or something, and it won't turn sideways and lay all over the floor. All right, let's go. Oh, I just wanted to show you guys real quick. This is the spool pin dolly on this machine, doily. One of my people in my class likes to crochet with this little thread, and I had her make me about 10 of these. And again, they sell these on eBay for those of you who crochet for $5 and up. So I'm at the end of this row. Let me cut it in the bag. I don't know why I'm using these scissors. All the nips and stuff. Oh, yeah. Neatly on the floor. Neatly filed on the floor. So I'll use my suture remover scissors from the hospital that are still nice and sharp. So here's what the corner looks like. And you see this? You see the bottom of the bag? It's square already. Ta-da! So now I'm going to turn it inside out and try not to hit that pin that I left on the side. Stick my fingers in there. Put the pocket down. Ta-da! Look at this, you guys. Now this, you see how it's tall and long? This is like a duffel bag. Again, this is a short one. It's not the full-size hobo bag because I'm waiting to do that for myself. This is one, just a demonstration to show you guys, but I gave you the dimensions for the full-size bag. Okay? So now let's go. Now this is really interesting. So you see the pin that I put here? Well, I have a choice. I can use this ruler to make the handle to measure it, or I can make it wider. I want to make a wider handle, so I'm going to, no, because you can't see these black numbers on here. So I'll use the clear one actually. And these are inches, not centimeters, Bow Adventures. So actually I can't see the numbers on them in the dark. Okay, so maybe, nope, 5 inches is too much. I'm deciding how far I want the handles. And since the name tag is right where I want to do it right now, and it won't peel off because it's been there forever, I'm going to put it, and this is what I saw Tracy asking Rachel when they did their bag, whether to put the handle on the inside or the outside. I'll show you in a minute. Right now, I'm just going to mark it. Four inches. And oh, there it is. I hate you. in the dark. Okay. Now the easy thing would have been to put a piece of tape or mark it with something, but that's too much like right. Okay. That's too much like right. So I'm going to put a pin here. Then to double check it, what am I going to do? I'm going to fold it, put these pins on top of each other, and voila. The pin that I put in the middle, in the center right here, this one is in the middle, so that means these two handles are straight. Now, the easy way, now that I measured that side, all I have to do, a hobo, put not straight, and a pin on this side. Now, the big decision. The big decision. It's totally up to you where you put this. This is my pre-made handles that I made by hand. This, to make this, I took a 5-inch piece of fabric. You can take any piece of fabric. This fabric is already has the batting in it, so I just use it as is. If it didn't have batting, I would cut a strip of scrap batting that I have sitting around. So this is a 5-inch piece of fabric, and you do the same thing that we did with this piece. You fold it in half and you iron it, so then it becomes a 2.5-inch piece. Then you take the outer edges and turn it in on both sides. And you didn't miss the tip about the long stitches. It's up to you. Your machines might sew easily through all these passionately intrigued darts. It's up to you. It's subjective. So what I'm going to do is fold. This is a new way to attach handles to bags. So I'm going to go. Wait a minute. Oh, I didn't put the other pin over here. That one's in the middle. I need one on this edge. I like these little cheap yellow pins. They're easy to see. Especially, I use a lot of black and a lot of African fabrics. So the dark is easy to see. So for me, what I'm going to do, I want you to see every detail of this. This, I'm just moving this to have more room. This handle, and it depends on what size you're working with. This handle, I think I'll put inside the 4 inches. So I'm going to use yet another pin and put it in the top to hold it there. And I'm leaving this pin on the side so that I can see, you can see the top of the 2 yellow pins. I'm leaving that pin to make sure that I actually did put it on the inside. And because this fabric is heavy and it moves, I put another pin down, the pin at the top and another one. And then I'm going to pull this handle up, and make sure your handle is straight, you guys. When you're doing it, make sure the handle will lie flat this way. And I'm putting it inside of this side. I actually should have turned it around the other way, and another one this way. So what I'm doing when I put the facing on, we're not sewing the handles on separately. We're going to sew right over these babies. Now we go to the other side. This bag is almost done, you guys. Okay, so now we know this is going on the inside. Sorry for my hand. I'll try to do it this way. And I'm going to put one pin. I'll put this one going up. So then I won't have to remove this one. Then I'll put another one to hold this heavy fabric and keep it from being wishy-washy while I'm trying to sew across the top. Again, making sure that it's flat, and I'm pulling it up on the other side inside the marking of the pin. Then I'm making sure that the handle is straight. I'm putting one pin. Then I'm putting another pin, double checking to make sure that it's not twisted. Okay. This bag is almost done. Now, here is the facing that we made. So it doesn't matter what size the bag is. We are going to sew it on there and double it. Make sure we have enough. Make sure that it's long enough. Yep. So I'm going to make it flat. One edge is sewn under for those of you who just came in the room. This is a 2.5 inch strip. We've ironed it under and turned it and edge stitched it. So now we're making this into a facing to go across the top of the bag. So you guys can thank Rachel Unbiased LLC for this tutorial because she asked me about making a bag. I asked you guys when I was doing my celebration for my 1,300 subscribers what you would like to see. So you see on this side, I left about an inch past the seam. So I'm just cutting this extra off so that it's not straggly in my way. We're going to sew it in the back, and I'm going to cut off the salvage. This little gray part, because this bag will be washable. You can turn it on the other side. It would shrink differently than the rest of the fabric. Okay. So I want to be able to join this facing in sort of in the middle of the back. So I left that middle pin back here, and I'm going to overlap this edge a little bit past the middle. Am I going to go on this side, the other side? Now, I'm going to start on this side so that there won't be much bulk over the sewing machine edge. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So this I'm going to put over about an inch. And Rachel, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm not going to pin around this whole bag. I'm just going to sew it. Because you don't have to. That's just me. And put the extension table back down so that I can sew over here. And now I'm sewing the facing on here. What's going to happen, you guys, you know how you make a bag and you have to sew this handle on, this handle on? You won't have to do this. When I lift this up, the handle will already be sewn in part of the bag. So let's go. I'm going to start over here, give it plenty of room so that I can stitch like I'm doing a binding on a quilt. Stitch forward a little, back a little, throw this thread in the back, and now I'm going around the entire bag. And oops, still going backwards. Car still in reverse, you guys. No harm, no foul. So now I'm taking both of these pins out for the handle. And I'm going to sew. I don't know if any of you, when the you know what was going around, I made a lot of masks for the pandemic. And when it came to where I sewed the elastic in, I backspaced 2 or 3 times. So you see this little part over the handles has been stitched 3 times. Now here we go. Look at me, Rachel. No hands, no pins. I'm flying. I'm flying. Hello, Planter Garden TV. Thank you for coming. So away we go. We're sewing the facing on here, just like we would a dress or anything else. All right, I'm getting to the handle on the other side, and I'm just looking to make sure everything's straight. Got the 2 pins that keep it from twisting, going over all these layers, taking this pin out. Right now I'm sewing over the other handle, making sure it's pulled up tight to the edge because the bag is pulling it down. Okay, back stitch across the whole thing, go across it again, reinforce it. I tell you, when I make bags, yes, I charge for them and I charge a good little penny, but you are getting a bag that will never come apart, will never break, will last longer than you will. Lorraine T has one of my bags. She'll tell you. I'm not trying to sell any bags. I'm just telling you how I make them. And maybe I can get you guys to make them and sell them. Take some of the stress off your old auntie girl, because I want to quilt, especially art quilts. I just love that. It's like making the postcards. Those are like miniature crazy quilts. They are. They are. I had a curator visit my house the other day looking at the postcards, and some of them can really go into quilt shows. The ones that have padding are miniature quilts. Okay, so now I'm getting around. Sorry. Can you guys see? I'm sewing over one of the things. And now I'm getting to the last handle, I think. No, I don't think so. So I'm going across, back stitching, back, going across the 3rd time. But guess what? I'm going to stop here. You know why? Because I have to sew the middle of this facing that I put in together. Let me pull this out a little more. Okay, so this is where I started, and by leaving extra room, I can connect these 2 edges, I mean, it's not a square. And sew this seam. This bag is almost done, you guys. This is so exciting. And just think, I'm doing it in the small size, but the bigger size, the full size duffel bag, I don't mean duffel bag, it's the same size as a duffel bag, the full-size hobo bag. You could have been completed in the same time, except I was talking and showing you guys other things and kibbutzing. Kibbutzing is like being in a community. A kibbutz, like in Israel or something, is where they have communal living. And you guys are my family. Thank you for coming. And welcome to GQUAT Traditionzs, where good friends become family. And family is everything. Oh, this hot little bag, hobo bag, is almost ready to be used for however long you need her. So, this seam that I just sewed, I'm going to, Rachel, for you, I'm not going to iron it. I'm going to open it and finger press it. Might even use the edge of this ruler to hold it down. I do have wooden irons, which is just a little stick that's pretty much like this, and it holds it flat. And I'm going to put her back on the machine and finish sewing around. So Rachel, you asked for a bag that could be made in a couple of hours. You get your money and be gone. And this is a beautiful bag. And it is so well made. You will never buy a bag anywhere made like this, with all the extra stitching over the seams. And guess what? This little facing has a little wrinkle in it. It's like, who cares? I will fix it when I turn it over. So now I'm cutting the stitches back there where I backtracked and stopped it to sew it. Cutting the stitches here. Ta-da! This little piece will go in my scrap pile to go in my postcards. Okay, so now I'll take the stitches out of the handle, because the only thing they're going to do is stick me. And guess what? This bag is done, you guys. This bag is done. Except for one little detail. Pulling these stitches out. I don't mean pulling the stitches out, pulling the needles out. I mean the pins out. Okay. So, me, because I'm mostly dish, I would probably press this, but I'm not going to drive Rachel crazy. And I know you guys have been here for a while, so I'm going to hand press this. And look at this, you guys. We're going to turn the facing inside. Voila. And magic. Look at this. And you see it's a long, narrow bag. So you don't have those big, thick ones like at the grocery store. So hold on one second. And all we have to do is fasten the facing down so that your bag looks finished. Now this is where where are you? So one moment, you guys. I'm having a train wreck and I move things. Oh, here they are. When one spends their time and makes such a lovely bag, whether you sell it, raffle it, whatever, you put your label on it. These are little satin labels that I have a ton of. that I bought. I just like to cut the edge off. I don't know why this one came raggedy. Because I'm live. That's why it's raggedy, right, Rachel? Everything goes wrong when you're live. So I'm going to trim this one. I usually have a bunch of them near the machine. And now it's acting like a little monkey. So, where will I put you? Somewhere in the back. So that when you look at it, you know who's back. You know whose you are. Where you came from. I remember when we were little, my dad used to ask my brothers, "What's your name? What's your name, boy?" "Joseph." "What's your name?" "Joseph." "What's your name?" "Joseph Pankey." "Joseph Pankey, sir." Yeah, my dad, when you met people, you told him who you were, what family you came from. And you make sure you represent it when you came out. I'm backstitching. I'm only putting the label on. I sometimes put my label on my handles because I'm sewing this. Oh, hold up. There's a pin I left in here. Naughty, naughty. I have one more stitch. Or should I backstitch it? Then I'm going to roll this bag up. So that it fits under the machine. And get it down straight. Sorry, you guys, I can't see the chat right now. Okay. It's coming on crooked, but it's around. Well, I almost forgot about the label, tell you the truth, talking. But no job is complete until your label is on it. No quilt is complete unless your label is on it. That's where I often fall down on my quilts. So what is going on here? Oh, we're going this way. That's why. Put the pressure foot down. Put the pressure foot down. I don't know why these extra stitches here. I went off the label. I have to fix that. Okie doke. Back stitch. Go forward. Okie doke. Okay, the label is on in the back. So just for giggles and clicks, we'll start there. And we're going to put a line of edge stitching around your bag to make it look nice and to hold the facing down. Let me put the handles under here where they belong. And you'll see the magic of how the handles are magically attached. You don't have to sew them on separately. Same thing if you're doing the webbing. I'll actually put this line of stitching down a little further just to make it look nice. So I'm holding the facing down flat with my hands because I didn't press it. And here we go. And this makes sure that the handles stick up when you hold on to it. You guys okay? Naughty, naughty, my new friends. Instead of cussing Rachel. Yeah, yeah. It's annoying when things mess up. You try your best. You're sitting there in front of people everywhere, all over the world. Last time I had somebody from Vietnam, and then your machine mess up and you sit up looking like an idiot. But that's life. That's life. You have to roll with the punches. And you know, that determines your worth. It's when anybody can be good when everything is perfect, or you have the best of everything, or you know, you have help from everywhere. It's when things go bad. Things aren't the way you wanted them to go. Then what? That's what separates the men from the boys and the women from the little girls. You know, you put your big girls on and step forward and say, I got this. Yeah, you're not gonna beat me. Oh, do you know what Julius Caesar said when he conquered some war? I always thought it was when he I don't know, entered the gates of Rome, whatever war it was, but he said, Veni, Vidi, Vici. Or in some languages, they say weenie, like the V is soft. But what it means is I came, I saw, and I conquered. I took Latin in school growing up in Connecticut. I was supposed to be tested and be in pre-med. I should have been a doctor, was supposed to be a doctor. But in high school, I fell in love young and I wanted to get married, have a family. And I knew I wasn't going to spend all that time going to school. Oh, no, no, no. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So, but anyway, I took Latin. And that was one of the phrases that I learned. Veni, vidi, vici. I came, I saw, and I conquered. And I don't know if GT Jr. grows in Alaska's in here, but we were talking about planning for the future. And that's what he needs to put on his vision wall, his vision board. I came, I saw, and I conquered. We got this. Guess what, you guys? Guess what? The reveal. The bag. This whole hobo bag is done. Let me turn the camera so that you can see it. Like Rachel says, you see this? You see this? She's done. Now, the only thing you don't have to add a, um, a latch, but I'm going to. I won't do it on camera. I'll have it ready by Thursday. But you guys, look at this. And this is where you take the needlepoint and you make your bottom. You can make it, if it were hard, look, if I had the hard bottom in it like this, you can already see that when it has clothes or something in it, it's going to stand up. This will hold a good little mount when you're hoboing. Hey, Hudson. Thank you for coming and growing with Hudson. So what would I do to attach this? That big button that I have around here somewhere, I will put in the front. In the back, I will put this loop and attach it. Actually, I'm going to put it up higher. Why? Because I have a big button. Who are you making that for, GQUAT? I don't know. I will probably sell it, but it's not for any reason. The reason I'm making it is because Rachel Unbiased wanted to learn how to make it. And uh, let me see. So, Hudson, if you're interested in it, let me know because it's still going to have this is a big bag, even this size, hobo bag, and it's going to have a big button to hold it closed. And I'm going to put a hard bottom in it. So I just wanted you to see her in her entirety. Come on, big girl. We going out for the weekend. Hey, bruh, we gonna stay a couple days. Oh yeah, you weren't expecting us. Look at this big square bottom, you guys. She got a big bottom. She do. This one, she has a big bottom. Come on, girl, poke it out for her. Poke it out. Poke it out so they can see all of you. Poke it out. Poop it out. Poke it out. You see how wide this bottom is? And that's how you get a square bottom with no bulk. So, what do you think about that? She fancy. You'll email me, Hudson. Okay. Hudson, where is it? Something you gave me is up here. A sticker. Oh, there you are, Hudson. Something fell over it. You see your sticker over there? I like my second sticker. I think the Bull's Garden was. And yeah, I have to move these down some. Oops. My owl fell. That's all my canned goods up there. Not all of them. Orange peelings and whatnot. Nice. You need that in your life. Nice bag. You see, it didn't take that long. This big pocket, you could go anywhere for a weekend in this bag. You know, I don't know how many pairs of underclothes, your pew, top clothes, shoes, shower cap, satin bonnet. You're ready to go. You're ready. You're ready. So, you guys, I don't even know how long it was. Did you enjoy this? We'll make something more. And I'm going to make a really big bag, the real hobo bag. And I want to make it with denim, which will, let me close this, that's so bright, which will take some time piecing it. But Rachel wanted to know a quick bag. If I hadn't been talking so much, come on, big girl, stick your other hip out. You weren't even all the way out. So, you guys, did you enjoy it? Thank you. Thank you. This is my longest ever, but I wanted to show you guys that it's doable. If I hadn't been running my mouth and talking about everything else, but that's what this was, a sew-in chat. I thought it was going to be a sew-along. We had guests. You got to meet Auntie JOANNE face to face. For those of you who've never seen my sister JoAnne Stevens, my biological sister JoAnne Stevens, she went live in the beginning of the chat. And so did Maria Graham, for those of you who have never seen her face. Those two don't have channels, but Auntie GQUAT, Sister GQUAT, she convinced them to do it. So do what you love what you do. Thank you for coming. I love you. Ego amote. And I'll see you guys Thursday at 4 p.m. So the fourth Saturday, we can go a long time. If there's a fifth Saturday, I'll go long and show you guys, do a tutorial. You're welcome. Love you. Love you guys. Hope you enjoyed this. And I hope you will make a bag.